All right, so I'm very excited about this fight. I am gonna bet some money for the Sanders Sayas versus Jaron Ennis fight. I think that Jaron Ennis is gonna ultimately win this fight, but I just realized something that is pretty interesting in this fight, which is very rare in boxing, and that is that Sanders Sayas and Jaron Ennis have the same reach and they have the same height. Jaron Ennis is 5'10" and as far as height, and then his reach is 74 inches. That's exactly the same number that Sander Sayas has as far as his body length. That's interesting because that, see, normally in boxing, let's say Richardson Hitchens, I always said that Richardson Hitchens could give Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson a lot of trouble because if they all use the jab, the question is who has the better reach. So I think that if Shakur Stevenson fought Devin Haney, he if Shakur Stevenson fought Devin Haney could actually beat Shakur Stevenson based on the jab because he has a greater reach. But if Haney fights Richardson Hitchens, or even Shakur Stevenson fights Richardson Hitchens, the reach advantage is clearly for Hitchens, right? And that's a problem. In this case, is different because very rarely do you see two boxers having the same height and the same reach. Now, what does this mean for this fight? It means a couple things. The key here is if Sandor Sayas uses the jab and Jaron Burenas uses the jab, none of them have an advantage towards one another. Like they don't have an advantage. One does not have an advantage over the other one, over the other fighter. They just don't. So the key here is when they both throw hands, who is going to move their head? Who is going to do more rolling? Who is going to be the one who gets out of danger if they both strike? I also think, given this data, that whoever throws the wider hooks is going to lose this fight. So if Sanders Sayas does not throw compact against Jaron Burenas, he's going to be in trouble because Jaron Burenas is a fighter that actually knows how to throw punches pretty well, and he throws compact some of the times. Sometimes I've seen him like throw a little loose, but if he throws compact, if he plays into shots and throws a compact shot, I think that he will win the exchanges. But having the same reach is very important because this fight now does not give a clear advantage as far as their size or their length, and that's important for this fight because if Jaron Burenas had a higher reach, I think in most of the exchanges with the jab, Sanders Sayas will be in trouble. But now that kind of benefits Sanders Sayas because he does not have the same skill set as Jaron Burenas. But if he's able to keep the timing the right way, I think that he could possibly give Jaron Burenas more trouble. Now, the problem is that defensively wise, Jaron Burenas is better, and I think his timing is going to be good as well. That means that Sanders Sayas is going to have to keep himself in a range where he's going to have to feel comfortable. And I know Jaron Burenas is going to try to close down the gap so Sanders Sayas does not find his reach against him, right? He's Sanders Sayas is going to try to find his reach against Jaron Burenas using that jab, right? That's one of his main weapons. But I think Jared Wooden is going to close down the gaps, and he's not going to allow him to maintain that reach. And also, like I said before, Jared Wooden fights crossguard. Sanders Sayas exposes more his body, so that might benefit Jared Wooden in this fight. Now, as I said before, Sanders Sayas in this fight, he's going to try to box. I heard a few of his interviews, and he said that you got to fight smart. It's about, who controls the pace. It's about fighting smart. And he'll do anything to win this fight, which means that he might use the clinch. He might use other weapons, which I think would definitely benefit him in this fight. But uh, the range is going to be most of the key in this fight. So if they both have the same length, that means that in the exchanges, whoever has better head movement, whoever slips better, is going to win the exchange. And I think that's going to be Jaron Burenas. But Sanders Sayas does move his head. I saw a few of his videos where he moves his head, but he can really just only move his head when he steps. Like he makes moves with his head, but he'll step, right? Jaron Burenas doesn't step. He just stays fixed. And like a cobra, he just stays there. He waits, he pivots a little bit, right? He does a little tilt, and bends a little bit, and then chooses shots, right? He picks his shots, fighting at level 2. Xander Zayas does not fight at level 2, and I think that's going to be a problem, especially because it's going to give more dimensions to. I mean, it's Jaron Bruno is going to have more dimensions in the exchanges, but that, like I said, that gives Xander Zayas a little bit more to work with against Ennis, because, as I said, if Ennis had the longer reach or he was a little taller, sometimes that can actually make a difference, especially because boxing is a game of inches, and it only takes 1 inch to hit you the right way and you're gone, right? So I think in that regard, Xander Zayas was a little bit lucky to face a fighter who has the same height and length. So we'll see what happens with the fight. It's going to be a game of inches, but no one has superiority over the other one when it comes down to their body mechanics and their length. Now, the question is, as I said, the defense. That's going to be the key, and the timing. Whoever has better timing and defense is definitely going to win this fight. And I think Jaron Bruno will ultimately pull this fight. All right, give us a like, subscribe, become part of our community, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace out.